All right, Layla, thank you so much for joining me. And I'm so excited to be able to share a little bit about your story here and our work together so far. So, if you can just start by telling us a little bit more about, when before you came and found me, like what was some of the things going on? Like, why were you looking to work with someone?
Yeah. So I was struggling with skin issues for, I think, more than a year, and it just started to get to me, and I could tell something was off, something was wrong. For a while, I thought it was due to the masks I had to wear every day to work, not trying to mention that period of time that we all don't want to miss or do want to miss. Um, but I knew there were a lot of other people out there who had to do the same thing and weren't experiencing the issues that I had. And so I just started the journey of trying out couple or not a couple of things, a lot of things like cutting out foods, certain products like L-glutamine and all that, but none of them really seemed to work. The issues didn't go away. And I stumbled onto your account and you were saying all the right things. But again, there was so many possibilities of what the actual issue could be. And I just didn't want to play the guessing game anymore. And that's how I decided to actually contact you so that I could actually, yeah, maybe see some change and find out what's going on. I knew it was something that was, deeper rooted. I just didn't know what exactly it was and how to fix it.
Yeah. And you mentioned trying some other things. Did you have any changes? Like, did you notice any results doing some of this other stuff?
Yes and no. I think sometimes it was wishful thinking as well, to be honest. But none of it was consistent and none of it was so, massive that I thought, oh yeah, this is it. So I could never really tell if there was an improvement. I was like, okay, today it's a little bit better, but then the next day it was back or worse. So I could never really tell. Plus, I'm also very impatient. So I found it hard to stick through some things as well if I didn't see the results that I wanted to see.
So, what has been kind of the biggest differences between some of the work that and some of the things that you've tried before versus a lot of the work that we've done together so far?
Well, I knew I was working with an expert and not just things that I found out myself. And even though I have some experience in that field, I knew that the experiences you have, so the experiences I have are sort of very superficial, not to make it sound bad, but they are. Um, Working someone who specializes in blood chemistry, I just knew that is, on such a micro level, that itself already helped me because I thought, okay, well, then you must know a lot about how our body works. Um, and I think what really helped was basically just trust that someone's guiding me and I don't have to do this, trying out everything and waiting for things. I could just be led through the path and trust that this is exactly what I'm supposed to do instead of trying this, then that, maybe two things at the same time. And it was just more structured as well.
Yeah, for sure. And, we've obviously done work, deep inside work, we've done movement type work, but we've also done some more inner type work. Is that something that, you thought was going to be part of the process? And how has that kind of changed things with you so far?
With inner, you mean like
People.
mental,
Yeah.
deeper, emotional?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Like from your like I got to know you through your videos first, and the symptoms or the causes that you mentioned there already tell you that there's more to it than maybe just exercise and nutrition. And me knowing something about that topic as well, I knew it was something suppressed probably. I didn't know how deeply rooted it was. I didn't know that it was, let's say, that massive. It wasn't just, or I found out that it wasn't just one or two big or small things. It was years of, let's call it neglect. It sounds very tough and rough, but that word just describes it very well. Um, so I assumed it would be going into that direction, and I was happy to do so because I I am already familiar with that part, and I'm okay with that part. But of course, you never really know what's going to happen or what you're gonna discover when you do that sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so far, obviously we're not done, but what are some of the biggest wins that you've had thus far?
So one of the biggest wins for me is, first of all, simply realizing I was I was right. Okay. Um, no, I was right. There really was or is an issue that needed fixing, that it was deeper rooted. I wasn't just imagining things because I was never quite sure, do I have problems with like gut? Yes, no. And there was something there. Also, a big win was I initially came for just my skin and maybe parts of my gut issues, but we worked on so much more than that. We worked on my relationship with myself and my body, with food. Um, and I've seen improvements in all of those areas. And now I feel like even though I'm not completely done, that the door has been open and I simply need to walk through. And I feel very confident in achieving the goal. Plus, we also worked on my psoriasis, which I didn't even consider because I thought this was just, the state of how it's going to be for the rest of my life. And I found that very astonishing.
Yeah, it's certainly been amazing to see your journey so far, and especially someone so young that's in kind of this arena already. I It's been such a joy working together and to see all of your progress so far. So I'm so excited. Now, so kind of like to wrap up here, if someone was kind of on the fence about working with me and kind of going through some of this bigger work, and digging a little bit deeper, what would your advice or what would you say to someone kind of on the fence about working together?
Yeah. So, full disclaimer, it's both very easy and comfortable as well as difficult. But, that's life. It represents life. Um, I can't, of course, can't speak for everyone because everyone's journey is different. But the changes that I had to implement, it was easy. It was changes I was happy to do. Nothing went against the grain. And there were difficulties in seeing the side effects, working on those mental issues, the emotional things. But if you really struggle with a certain thing but you do believe there's a cure, and there probably is, I would just say go do it, because even though I'm not at the end yet, I already know this has been so worth it for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and you've done such amazing work inside, outside, mental, emotional, physical, all that kind of stuff. So it's been so great, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.